What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new edition of Wrestle Update. We're going all over the place right now. We did modern shows with SummerSlam. We did a past show with Ring of Honor. And now we are doing a show that feels like it came to us from another dimension, also known as the Juggalo Zone. We are talking GCW, JCW, the 2-Day War. I'm your host, as always, Dylan Fox, joined by the mastermind, the one who demanded that we review these shows. He kicked open the door, and I couldn't deny. I really respected your passion for it, and here we are. Nella de Angelis. You are the man. You are the one who did this, and I can't say that I regret it now after I've experienced it. I watched both shows way past midnight, which is really good for me because honestly I've been working a lot during the day, and last night I was stuck watching the freaking stupid Tennessee Titans preseason game with Mamaw. And that lasted forever, like until like 10 p.m. So the show didn't even start until after that. So for me, the timing was actually pretty perfect overall. Striga always says when we do Eastern Lariat around midnight, he always says that's my zone. It's not really like it used to be where I just stay up until like 6, 7 a.m. I do have to try and get up a little bit early sometimes now. But I was very at home watching it. How are you feeling? What was your hype level going into these shows? Because you wanted to watch them, and then you turn around and tell me, I never saw a JCW show before. I was the one JCW explaining you about backyard wrestling on PS2 last week.
Well, first off, Dylan, what's up, dude? Shouts out to all the juggalos and the juggalettes. This was fucking awesome. There was two hour-long shows late at night, fun as fuck. I'm very excited to talk about this.
See,
and yes, this was my first actual JCW show. Because initially I was like, oh man, it would be fun to cover Stranglemania. I've never seen that. And then I saw that these shows were coming up, and I've really enjoyed the build-up so far that JCW, GCW have done. You know, they had a really fun, I want to say it was maybe Tournament of Survival weekend or something, but they did like this insane all-out brawl where it was like the entire locker rooms of both companies fighting out into the streets of Atlantic City, and it got me hyped. You know, there were a couple missing people, like a Dr. Redacted and a Mickey Knuckles. I hope they're well and did not get swallowed by the entity that is the Gathering of the Juggalos. Yeah, man, I'm hyped to talk about this. Like this, like if you combine the length, like this was like a little bit longer than a normal episode of like television for most companies. So it was breezy.
Also worth mentioning, these shows are free on YouTube, by the way. They're on the Insane ICP's YouTube page if y'all want to watch them. Overall, both night 1 and night 2 are on their page. So if you want to check it out, if you listen to us talk about it, it's on their Facebook too. Wherever you want to watch wrestling, guaranteed you can find the 2-Day War. To be honest with you, that was kind of like one of my main things going into this. I didn't really understand what exactly the beef between these companies is. To be honest, like nonetheless.
So my little knowledge is that, you know, they've been feuding. There was some beef between the companies, some interpromotional stuff that happened, you know, that essentially, you know, hit its high note when Matt Tremont beat or won the JCW world title, right? So basically the GCW guy comes in, takes your biggest title, and then it was all going to culminate in the actually called, you know, 2-Day War at the Gathering of the Juggalos. Like in Atlantic City, like I said, all hell broke loose. They did a little preview match with, it was like Mickey Knuckles, Brothers of Funstruction, versus your Murdoch, Dr. Redacted, you know, at the, I want to say it was called Powder Keg. I'm going to open up cage match real quick and just double check.
Okay.
So JCW Powder Keg. Yes, this was a big show, August 1st. This was when Team GCW, one called Manders, John Wayne Murdoch, and Matt Tremont fought Too Tough Tony, Madman Pondo, and Mickey Knuckles. What happened was, I don't know if you've seen the clip, Dylan, but John Wayne Murdoch was lit on fire and he did not go out.
Yeah.
So they've been going fucking hard at each other. You know, a big thing has been the YDNP, Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, just really tearing their way through the tag team division of JCW as well. Pretty much the entire independent tag team division right now. And then you also had Drake Younger versus Joey Janela on the show too. So a lot of cross-promotional stuff leading up to this. And I believe that was during GCW SummerSlam weekend with Bloodsport.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Emo Fight. I think we have to respect Emo Fight for GCW with Drew Parker in a maid outfit as well, living my real-life fantasy outfit for me. But the thing is, my problem with this, it's not really a problem. Again, it's just a question, more like... First things first. I freaking love promotional wars, like interpromotional feuds. That's some of the best shit to me in the history of wrestling. Whether all the way back to UWF and New Japan in the 80s, to Noah and New Japan in the 2000s. And what I would really love to see and what I think would really help the indies, like if I were somehow universally in charge of indie wrestling, I would try to book a feud resembling this. Would be one of my all-time greatest memories and one of the feuds, and something I'd love for us to talk about one day, was the CZW versus Ring of Honor feud. That culminated in the famous Cage of Death, which is like a legendary rivalry match. The thing is, though, in that situation, that feud between Ring of Honor and CZW, it made perfect sense. Like the honorable pure wrestling brand versus the insane deathmatch ultraviolet guys. Like two ideological differences fighting each other. With GCW and JCW, I feel like the Venn diagram of what they're about, as well as their fan bases, it's pretty well aligned. Like, it might not be a perfect circle, but I would rate them as pretty similar companies stylistically in what they represent. Again, there's some differences. I'm not saying there isn't. But, like, I didn't get the feeling that, like, these two companies should be warring with each other that much. And we've even had guys turn, like, you know, from GCW to JCW to try and balance it out. I did like one thing I noted right away that needs to be said and praised, in my opinion. Because they at least tried to sell it. And that way, even if stylistically, I don't think it really works. Even on the thing, on Triller, you actually had like a different, like you had the opportunity to have different commentary, whether it's JCW or the GCW team, where you had Juggalo guys commentate for JCW, you had Joe for GCW, you had Lauderdale was on there, so everybody was going back and forth. You could kind of pick which one you supported, and I think the JCW crowd did buy into it. Overall, I think that they ended up working. This was at Legend Valley in Ohio. I've never seen this venue or know where the hell Thornville, Ohio is. I know my first girlfriend was Ohio, and she turned out to be kind of nuts, to be honest, and I wasn't a big fan of hers, so I don't like Ohio. Apologies to our friends from Ohio, of course, who I do love secretly. But I just thought this was like a totally, like, really out there venue. And it was kind of like an outdoor venue, like, too, on top of it. But I thought that things really got better in terms of production on night 2. Despite whatever you might think of these companies, JCW and ICP, the Juggalos and all that, they have a lot of great production values together. So it really worked out really well, I would say. Even though, again, just on paper, I'm not certain I'm buying this this feud overall. I don't know if you agreed with me or not, or we're just like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
I think that the crowd was passionate enough to no matter what, GCW could have played total baby faces and still got liters of soda thrown at their heads.
Well, that was one of the big stories, especially at the end of where everybody pelted the ring with trash.
Dude, but I loved it.
I know, that's awesome. Again, I loved it. I totally agree. Like, and they did a good job, like, making this work, and the fans were a big part of it. So anyway, let's get into night one here. Again, this was a cross-promotion show, the 2-day war, night 1 and 2.
Did this also start 40 minutes late for you? For like, my stream just wasn't a rarity.
Well, I just knew that it was starting late, so I didn't even know what time it was supposed to start. So it may have started late. When did it start for you?
I put it on right at 8:45 for me. It did not start till 9:25. But then,
it was definitely later than that.
Yeah. Halfway through, I was like, it'd be weird if they started on time, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that shows you where I was at. I didn't even know when it started, so I thought it worked out fine. We start us off with a death match. The shock and awe death match between Drew Parker and Drake Younger. Somebody we talked about on the SummerSlam episode. There, he is back on the Indies, and he's wrestling Drew Parker in JCW and GCW. This is really more your forte, Nello. But one thing I do want to say that I liked again, I love the production values that JCW brought to the table. They constantly had like a scoreboard on showing, like, if somebody won for JCW, they get one, and same thing for GCW. They constantly reminded you of the war and the theme of the show. Like, they committed to this really well.
Yes, I liked it. You know, they had an opening skit too before the match with Brett Lauderdale, Matt Tremont, Tony, and Violent J, where they signed a contract. You know, they talked about all the battles and wars and surprises to come, and they really built up the atmosphere and the stakes really well, I thought.
That was cool. And the whole point of that was, like, you have to agree to legally not sue the other company for what we do to each other on here. Brett, man, as a character, is very, very interesting. I have to say,
he was better. He had a better promo here than he did at fucking Hammerstein, dude.
That's true. I mean, you're right about that. Like, that's fair. But he is right. We did start off the show with the contract signing. Nice little, like, this is cool. Like, again, I like this kind of stuff. Like, this is really cool, even though it's a war that I'm kind of jumping in on at the end stage. I think it's awesome, like, that they do stuff like this. What did you think? How did you think Drake looks? Was this your first time seeing him since he came back?
Trying to think. I feel like I've seen him maybe in ICW or CZW lately. I'm not sure really, but I mean, I thought Drake's a good wrestler. He's one of those deathmatch anomalies where the dude's been doing it for almost 20 years, but like, he can still fucking wrestle and go, and he has some pretty goddamn good cardio.
Yeah, he was far from, like, embarrassing himself here. I'm trying to look at his run in 2025. It's been pretty much all JCW, to be honest with you. What was this? No, that's not it. But yeah, so it's been a lot of JCW for Drake. Obviously, Drew, he represented GCW in this matchup. He's a guy, man, what a weird career he's had. You know, all the stuff he did in Japan for Big Japan and all that stuff. And then he just came back to America, to GCW. And he's been a good guy for them. You know, he's been constantly booked on their shows, been facing a lot of the bigger names and stuff. And now we're back here in JCW. So, yeah, I thought that the two started off with a match where, like, it was really good for what they were going for, but they were purposely kind of not wanting to go. This wasn't a big Japan main event level match.
No, they weren't going to do glass or anything like I feel like they were very conscious of what was.
Yeah.
The audience was not conscious about what was flying into the ring, but the promotion was conscious of what was flying out of the ring into the audience, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it only went 12 minutes. Like, it's not like a ton of crazy shit happened, but for an opener, I think this was very effective in warming the crowd up, so to speak. So yeah, I would definitely give this, like, this is a good 6 out of 10 opener to me. Like 3-star level.
Yeah, I'd go the same.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought Drew looked really good. I haven't seen him in some time, to be honest. And Drake, it's been a decade plus since I've seen him. And I thought that they meshed pretty well together. I think if they were like, this was the end game of the JCW GCW rivalry, it may have been more crazy and memorable. But it was effective in what they wanted to accomplish. So then we got the tag team war match.
Oh, wait, Dylan, sorry. I have to stop because during this match, we had the debut of this sign that I probably saw 100 times this weekend. And it said GCW, Gobbles Cock Weekly. So shout out to that fan for their determination to get that sign on camera as much as humanly possible.
Wow. I thought we were back in 2002. No. Like I said, we've got homophobia and rubber chickens. Like, is this where we're going to... This is where we're going every week?
Is this the energy that we're putting out, dude? What's going on?
It makes no sense. Like I said, it makes no sense whatsoever. The opposite of what I want to put out in many ways. But the thing is, it's just like I said about WCW. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm from the South. I didn't choose WCW. It chose me. I didn't choose JCW. It chose me. And now it shows you too. And this is what we get for that. So we move on to the damn tag war match here. We got Atticus Kogar, Christian Napier, and Otis Kogar. Vindel 48 here. Versus Luigi Primo and Flo Kane. Stephen Flo and Cocaine. And you were the one who hyped up Stephen Flo to me.
So sick. They also had promos in between all the matches as well. They had tons of video content.
This sounded like something from... I will let you do your thing, but I just want to say this. These reminded me of stuff you would see on that Backyard Wrestling PS2 video game. Like the videos they played, especially the women's one on night 2. I was like, man.
That's sick. Go on. No, I love that. No, I was just going to say... Oh, I totally forgot what I was going to say. No, it was such a wild team of characters. Like each one of these guys, if you put them in any other match, they're going to be like, or on a card, they're going to be like the biggest character guy. And then they put them all on a team together.
What were your thoughts on Cocaine?
I thought this was my first time seeing the Cocaine, and I honestly thought it was pretty funny.
I just thought that that there was a part 2 that I noted that the main thing I took away from Stephen Flo in this match wasn't necessarily him being the grunge guy. It was that somebody hit him upside the head with something that somebody threw from the crowd. And like his biggest bump was unintentional from the fans. And that was their guy. That was supposed to be their guy.
Yeah, the fans were kind of merciless with the throwing. But again, like it really made the show. Like it was such a part of the atmosphere.
And I had no clue Luigi Primo was in JCW. I thought he was a GCW guy at first. But I thought that Cocaine actually looked all right, to be honest with you. I was expecting kind of the worst. I'm not. But he actually looks like a pretty decent wrestler. Like just with obviously the name is going to get you there. Like he might have been the best one on JCW team. It felt like the GCW team weren't really. They were gonna try and get this over with and just get out alive, pretty much. Like let's do this, have a match, and set up the angle afterwards with Nick Nemeth. And by the way, what did you think of Nemeth's part after the post match?
Him saying "whoop whoop" was so funny. It did not sound very natural.
Do you? Okay, let me ask you this: what do you think of the idea of JCW, like bringing in a Nick Nemeth to work with them and have somebody like a Shane Mercer turn and like nobody thinks of Nick Nemeth as a Juggalo, I would say, but it gives them added star power and whatnot. Do you think that was the proper way to go for JCW to bring in somebody like him onto the show?
Yeah, I thought it was cool to have someone like that. I mean, Justin Roberts was there too. We'll talk about it night too, but that fucking tripped me up out of nowhere. So it was nice to see like a lot of quote unquote bigger names pop up on this show because it's really just a love for wrestling, you know?
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's absolutely true. Up next, we went to.
Oh, real quick on the match, I wanted to say.
Oh yeah,
I loved the promos. Flo's quote of "You bitch motherfuckers, you're just like Ticketmaster. Don't go to war with us." Apparently, there's a lot of heat on Ticketmaster. They were throwing full-on tall boys into the ring. Someone threw a fucking shoe. Cocaine got full-on pyro, like real pyro. And yeah, I thought the double neckbreaker power bomb that finished it was pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I think GCW didn't give the max effort, but like they were fine. And like I said, I thought Cocaine actually was pretty good, and the fans were kind of like super rowdy, but I like it. Like I want fans to be insane, you know, like that gives us memorable atmospheres and stuff.
Yep.
So then we go to the first straight up singles match on the show here. In this feud is GCW the Ring of Honor, like the more traditional wrestling than JCW. I wonder. But anyway, we had Shane Mercer versus Bam Sullivan. We see the scoreboard come up. GCW undefeated so far. They've won both matches with Drew and the Kogars and Christian making the win here. So we have Shane representing JCW, which again kind of tripped me up a little bit. And he basically dominated the match. Bam, he came back with a little bit of good wrestling going in there, but this was all to build to the angle at the end. When suddenly the APA's music started playing. JBL and Ron Simmons hit the ring. Layfield hit the clothesline from hell. Mercer hit the battery for the win. So JCW on the board. Mercer gave out the beers to APA, and they had a moment.
I do want to go back to the promo in-ring segment that led into this.
Okay.
There's a French man in a mesh t-shirt that came out and basically did a Miz TV segment with Brett Lauderdale. Brett Lauderdale kept saying, "If I see any tits, I will leave." And he just kept saying this to the point where we were the commentary was literally like, "Brett, chill out, man. No one's going to show you their boobs." He literally said, "If I see any more tits or assholes, GCW is leaving." Someone throws in a full liter of Sprite, which leads to, or Faygo, which leads to other people throwing in full liters. Apparently, Dylan, I did not know. I learned today at a birthday lunch that the throwing of liters of soda is quite a cultural phenomenon in Juggalos. Violent J has a hell of an underthrow where he can hit the back of venues with his Faygo throws. So this isn't, I think, a sign of rudeness or disrespect so much as an assimilation into the culture of the Juggalos. Claude slips on his way out, which I thought was fucking hilarious. The mesh t-shirt guy. There's so much soda and drinks just all around that people are literally slipping in them.
What's your favorite kind of Fago?
I've never had Fago, I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I like the orange kind the best, personally. I think Fago is a pretty quality orange soda, in my opinion. I'm definitely a big fan of soda, and orange Fago is definitely a good tier. I won't say the best tier, the top tier, but it is a good tier. They got all the colors though in that one. They got blue Fago, grape Fago, all kinds of stuff. If you want to try it, so big stuff there. Is that what is that what Mercer toasted them with? Did he give the Fago to the APA?
No, I think it was like Miller Lite.
Okay, but so he didn't even grab a Fago for himself.
No.
I would have taken the Fago if it was me over Miller Lite, but I guess it's the APA's thing. What do you think of them coming into this for any reason whatsoever?
Hilarious. I was like, why does Shane Mercer of all people need help? Like, this is the beefiest dude in JCW. So I thought it was kind of funny. But again, it's like they were all about surprises on this show and having the APA come out in JBL pop up pretty much everywhere. So why not the Gathering of the Juggalos?
That's true. That's kind of been his deal for like a year or two now, and it's never made any sense. Like, I don't think it's ever been explained. And it never has to be explained. But yes, Mercer paid off his bodyguards, the acolytes, to come in here. And I guess that made something. It popped you, me, and a lot of people watching. So then we go back to another death match here. And this is one where you definitely have to explain some things here. So we have,
we have a nitrous huffing dentist versus a bone and knife wielding jungle man. It's really not that hard to figure out, you know? These are just two classic characters, very understandable, not a lot of weirdness going on. No, this blew my mind. I had no idea who the fuck these guys were. Apparently Mike Yankum is the Mosh Pit Mike, the man of 1,000 gimmicks. He'd come out as the jockey Mike the next night, the horse racing jockey. But dude, he fully committed to the dentist bit. Tons of dental weapons. They did a fucking hammer spike through the tongue.
That was sick.
And my favorite spot of the match is Mike Yankum has Tarzan down in the middle of the ring. And so Yankum, instead of pinning him, he stands beside him and then starts to huff nitrous until he passes out and falls backwards into the pin. Very fun.
This match was insane. Like I thought, like this was like the most violent match on the card to me, in less than 10 minutes. On top of it, I mean, they went into it, but I don't think this match isn't for everyone. Like I would say, but like you said, they did commit to this match for sure. There's no doubt, if there's one thing you want to say about these two, that these guys have high pain tolerances. I would say they were not scared. They wanted to go all the fuck out for this match. So this was an extremely violent match, and less than 8 minutes actually, a cage match. I was disturbed, but also blown away.
They talked a lot too about how much the Gathering meant to Mosh Pit Mike, because years before he began his pro wrestling career at a wrestling tryout at the Gathering of the Juggalos. So like this is his mania for real.
And he got a deserved win here. So very good stuff there. What would you rate this match?
I'd go 6 again, you know? Like I liked a lot of the sort of violent moments, like the spike through the tongue really stuck out. Again, I liked the really silly character work. So it all worked for me. It wasn't anything like special, but it was fun. I think the key word throughout this whole show is like fun more than anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Like the star ratings don't really work for this kind of show. I feel like But yeah, this match was super violent, and check it out if you're into the deathmatch scene, people. And then we go to perhaps after coming into the dentist versus the knife wielding Tarzan gimmick. We still had a weirder match on the show. Coming up next with the GCW Legends team of Too Cold Scorpio, the Great Sasuke, and Masha Slamovich versus Team JCW, Alice Crowley, JP Grayson, and Matt Cross.
The first note I have for this match is just wild cast of characters.
What is like? Who booked this? Like overall, I would love to know.
The sickos.
This was unquestionably for the sickos. Like here, I love seeing M-Dog 20 like at any point in his career, but especially now. Like he's another one that's kind of like from my era. Like I've followed way back then, and he's still kicking it like in the land of the Juggalos. The GCW team is just freaking ridiculous, I would say. So like the thing is with this match, it felt like Masha was in for like very little, but I liked what they did here. So at this point,
I really liked the Alice Crowley Masha segments. As short as they were, those were the those are probably the wrestling highlights of the show at this point to me.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, it's going to be Sasuke and Too Cold, like, and without Masha in the ring, so of course that's going to be the best stuff. So right away, everybody brawled. I liked how they started off with like, they all like worked on JP Grayson for a little, and that kind of built for the spot where Masha could come in and do their thing, do her thing. Like Sasuke at one point even hit a swanton bomb, but he missed it. And that led to the finish where he just stood up and hit a pile driver on M-Dog to win the match here. I can't say this was a great match, but Masha and Alice was good. And I personally enjoyed seeing all these random people. I'm really not too familiar with JP Grayson, but he was good as a like face and peril to the old guys.
Yeah. No, totally agree with everything that you say. It was, I guarantee, like, if I was there live, this would just be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is a ridiculous match. Like, there's no reason to take it that serious, to be honest. It's just here to have fun. You're bringing this insane cast of characters, and they're going to have a fun match for 10 minutes, and you're going to leave. How could you not like that at the end of the day? Like, of course I enjoyed this. I get another, like, 3-star type of match. It's nothing I'm, like, telling you to rush out to see. But like you said, if it was live, I agree with you. It probably would have been a bona fide hoot, to be honest. So then we got the JCW icon, Too Tough Tony. This is another guy that's been around for decades and decades. Like, I heard of him many years ago. Like, he was a veteran when I started. Like, you know, like in 2005 or whatever. So he's still going at it in his hometown group of JCW. He took on Joey Janela. I guess Mr. GCW in a lot of ways. So this is kind of like the battle between the heart and soul of each promotion. And of course, how do you settle this street war? When you think of a wrestler that defines street war, I know exactly the first name you and everybody listening is thinking of. And he walked his Tennessee ass down to that ring, and we saw the Cowboy James Storm.
Dude, yeah, what? The run-ins. Effie, Willie Mack, James Storm, Matt Tremont. One of those is not like the other. Yeah. Am I correct, Dylan?
I thought he was the logical person to interfere personally, but...
Yeah, this whole match was just fucking shenanigans. Just nothing but shenanigans.
Can Too Tough Tony, like, wrestle for real, or is he just, like, just somebody who goes out there?
I think he's just like a walking around guy at this point.
Yeah, like, I feel like if you took like an untrained, like if they threw you into this match, like I think you could have this match in theory, like with all of the
Yeah.
run-ins and stuff
I
going
mean, the
on.
hardest part is probably putting my hand out once it's on fire.
That's true. That's the one thing. He has balls. Like, there's no doubt about it.
That's got to be one of the coolest finishers in wrestling, the
The
meteorite.
meteorite. Yeah,
Right?
he's doing that 20 years ago. Like, that's literally how I heard of him. They're like, oh, this guy who lights his hand on fire, like, and punches people. Yeah, and it still looks fucking awesome now. Great finish. Yeah, like, obviously, I'm sure Joey Janela was honored to take this. If you want wrestling and you have to try and take it serious, you're not going to like this. But again, they leaned into what they were going for here. When you have James Storm run out, like you're leaning into it, at the end of the day. So, it was fun for what it was, I would say. And that set up the climactic main event. Can I ask you a personal question real quick before we get to this?
Yeah.
Who were you rooting for of the promotions to win at the end?
JCW.
You've turned, much like Mance. You've turned to JCW. GCW was your shit, man.
I know, but I was just like, I wanted the fans to go home happy.
Me too.
I was just really into them.
But actually, I didn't, because I think that the GCW team was way better than the Brothers of Construction in the main event, with all due respect. So I was not going to turn on Alec Price and Jordan Oliver for Yabo the Clown.
Damn. Whoop, whoop.
You are the true representatives. And you said you wanted to watch Stranglemania on top of it. I feel like your Juggalo roots are like, they're coming out in full force tonight, people. Like, this is a climactic moment. As we all do. So, we got to it. The Brothers of Funstruction, Ruffo and Yabo, the Clowns. They take on YDNP, Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. Both tag belts are on the line here. On one hand, though, I do have to say, if the Clowns had won, it would have been funnier to have them be double champions, like the king of the tag team. Because that's kind of what this match unofficially was to determine, right? Like, who is the top indie tag team? And I just love that they are one of the teams in that. So they start off, and again, it's great to see Jordan Oliver back. He was missing for so long. I am really hoping that he can really go on a little bit of a run here, now that he's really matured and gotten older. And
he's on Ring of Honor now, I saw.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, now that he's getting a shot at ROH, and Price deserves it too. Like, they could both be guys that you put on a Ring of Honor and let simmer a little bit for a while. So that was cool. But the GCW guys attacked easy heel heat to start off right away. The crowd was super invested in this match. It felt like a legit main event and a big fight feel. They did the spot where they pulled out like the clown rope thing that was all like
I wrote that down, and he tries to do the arm twist with it, which was really funny.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
This whole match, Dylan, and I think just this whole weekend of shows, really, what it reminded me the most of was the carnival origins of professional wrestling. Like how it was maybe part freak show, part carnival, part theater, and it just felt like this show was so in tune with those origins. Lots of fuckery, lots of characters that just feel like they are sort of timeless in a way, especially the Clowns.
It goes back to an interview I heard when the ICP were doing an interview on post wrestling with John Pollock, and they were trying to explain like their psychology pretty much on there. And I remember Violent J said something like, man, the origins of wrestling are the carnivals. And that's where it started, and we're fucking keeping it there. On there. And I think that's a big part of their ethos, pretty much here. And obviously the clowns here obviously fit into that very well. Then we got my highlight of the whole weekend. And you know exactly what I'm talking about now, Nello. We saw the return all the way from the era of honor into the 2-day war 23 years later. Somewhere, somehow, Boogaloo and Homicide were loving this when the clowns brought out the rubber chicken back again. And I have to say, the chicken here fit them so much better than the street gang stuff guys, I must say. So we did see that. We go on, and at one point, Joe Dombrowski on commentary, he was like, he had his cock in his hand there. So then one of the clowns brought out like the Fiend's mallet, like the old hammer thing that he had, like the oversized hammer. But suddenly, like a GCW security member jumped into the ring to steal it, and suddenly, then Alex Price grabbed somebody's beer bottle and just smashed it over Yabo's head. And Oliver then got a like flash pin to win the match. This was a trip, man. Like, what a match this was. Did I make any of that up? Like, was that any of what I just said a lie, Nello? Will you back me up that this happened?
No, it's you are telling the truth.
I know some people are probably thinking that we're just bullshitters right now. Like we've fantasy booked a show, but all of what we just said happened, 100%. I thought this was so fun, man. Like all of this was awesome. Obviously, again, you have to really adjust your expectations to the setting and the context of all of this. Nobody's watching this wanting freaking, Volkan in the JCW show. Like, gimmicks and shenanigans and carnival bullshit is what this company's all about. And we saw it on full display here. And you got massive heat at the end for the GCW team. So what did you think of this at the end of the show overall on night one?
So much fun. I haven't seen this much shit thrown in a ring since Homecoming when Matt Cardona won the title. This was, it's 2 nights. You ended on a bad note night 1, so you can end it on the highest note night 2. Like, it was just all so simple and well done. Everyone played their parts so well. I like that the wrestlers started picking shit up and throwing it back at the crowd. Like, it was a total party. And, the fans were very passionate because I will say night 1, like probably more than half the audience left between the beginning of the show and the end of the show, where there were no more people in the rafters, on the benches. They were all pretty much huddled around ringside. And they still made it feel jam-packed. So I was very grateful for the fans and their passion.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I want batshit fans. That's some of the most fun moments, even in sports and stuff. How many times have we built up, if you're an NFL fan, the Seahawks having the 12th man when they were running. I mean, I hated them because they were a rival to my team, the Panthers. We played them in the playoffs like 3 times. But that was one of the most respected crowd bases. The Philly fans throwing shit on the field, booing Santa Claus and throwing stuff at him and stuff like that. Those are great moments in sports history. We talked about it when we reviewed the ECW show, remember? How, like, man, you don't get crowds like that anymore, like in 2025. And this kind of had a similar feel to it, I would say, and especially at night 2. And I think a lot of it, too, is there was another one where, they would play the music. Like, I don't know if they had copyrights for all of this stuff they were playing, but, I mean, we had real music for pretty much everybody. The APA got their music, Nate Webb had Teenage Dirtbag and all that stuff. So it felt like a wild-ass show, pretty much. So yeah, let's go to night 2. Same situation, same venue, all that. And I do think in night 2, how would you compare the crowd from night 2 to night 1?
Night 2 felt like, I mean, it felt like the main event night. This place, if it was buy tickets, it was beyond capacity, sold out. People were wild.
It's funny because one of the
same energy.
One of the cage match comments says how this was not as good as in terms of the crowd, they weren't as rabid as the other shows. But I disagree. I thought this was the better crowd, personally.
Something like, I will say too, a lot of like what was conveyed by the crowd, because the crowd were not mic'd very well. They were more of like a background noise. It was very much about how much they were engaging with the ring and throwing shit. Totally. And they were, I think that they kept their rabidness going throughout. But yeah, they opened up this one with Nick Nemeth in the Brock Lesnar position because I don't think he wanted to stay at the Gathering anymore, maybe.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'm ready to get out of here.
He's like, dude, I've been shit on 3 times. I'm just done here.
That's a shoot, probably. What did you think of the choice of Atticus to be his opponent?
I liked it.
He's a logical choice, in my opinion.
He's a logical choice. He's such a white meat babyface, and Atticus eats them up. Very good target for promo work by Atticus, who I thought did well. And he's like a legitimate wrestler who getting a win over him meant something. Yeah.
Like, it was a great idea. Like, hey, remember when we did our like State of the Union show for AEW and WWE? Like we both had him get signed. Like you had him in NXT and I had him in AEW. You wanted the deathmatch division that you've long called for.
My dream feud now that we will not get until something happens is Kogar versus Darby. I think that they would fucking kill each other and have some just all-time matches.
That was my idea. Like I had him in AEW as the unsanctioned champion, like all unsanctioned matches was my gimmick idea for him. And then Darby, of course. I mean, I don't know if I said him specifically, but I promise if that happened, Darby would be right at the front of the line. I mean, Darby's such a fantastic wrestler. He'd be at the front of the line no matter who I said. But yeah, that is a dream feud for me too. Like I wish that we could have some way for that to happen. And that's what I had in mind. GCW and AEW feuding makes a lot more logical sense to me than GCW and JCW. Like the sellout promotion with the billionaire. I mean, that ended up happening. Like Effie kind of fucked all that up by saying those exact things. But that was real, at least. Like you could totally believe that at the end of the day. I still am kind of against it. Like Nick Nemeth and well, it's not Atticus, it's fine. But just Nick Nemeth and JCW and GCW, it was really the fans that made these shows more than the wrestling. And I stand by that. I disagree with the inmate on that one. I thought Night 2 really held up for the Juggalos and Juggalettes. So right away, like you said, to kind of go with your point of Nemeth wanted to get the hell out of there, basically like 2 seconds in, he hit the super kick right away. And that kind of told me, like, okay, this match probably isn't going that long. We saw Atticus do his like springboard moonsault with Nemeth like hung in the ropes. We saw the skewers come out, and I was like, no fucking way. But Nemeth dodged those right away. He was doing his elbow drops and all that stuff. He got the Famouser at one point, and then he did do a thing where he had the skewers like. When he missed him the first time, he stabbed him into the turnbuckle, and he did this like upside down, like he put him on top of the rope where the skewers were upside down, and he was set on the top rope to set up the brain hemorrhage for the win.
Thought it was a fluid sequence. Nice finish.
Yeah, it was. It was a good idea and a way to do a relatively safe version of the skewers. Like he didn't completely. Like take them, but he didn't completely not take them either. So I give Nemeth some credit for going as far as he did in a match that he probably didn't have to be honest. I thought it was a good opener, personally. Again, it's not like they wrestled a main event level match or anything like that. It was only like less than 10 minutes. But I thought they worked pretty well together for what they were going for. And I appreciated that we did get to have this match because it was super freaking random. I would have liked them to go a little bit longer, to be honest. And that's another comment I'll say for the next match for sure. Like you could have cut off one of these later matches and then given the first two a lot more time, and I think the show would have been pretty great. As it is, I felt like, man, they have another gear that they didn't get to hit here. But the wrestling we saw was good. And I got to tell you, Nello, I was pretty shocked Atticus won. Like, I thought Nemeth was going to win this for sure. I don't know about you.
Same.
Yeah. And that kind of elevated the match to me and made it more memorable. Like, fuck yeah, Kogar got a win over Nemeth.
Like I said, it's a meaningful win in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Like, yes, this is JCW versus GCW, but that is a major win for an Atticus Kogar. That's the former Impact World Champion or TNA World Champion, WWE World Champion. Like he still has valuable stock in his position and where he is. So, good on Nemeth for being willing to put over an Atticus Kogar.
Like I said, Nemeth deserves credit. I feel like he never phones it in completely, even though this was a chance to do it, like pretty much. And he actually delivered pretty well. Again, it was really more the lack of time that hurt it more than anything. Then we came to the 4-way JCW women's title match. And this is the one where I noted the videos before each match here. And that set up the return of Priscilla Kelly here. And the first time I've seen her since she left WWE. We had Priscilla Kelly, Brooke Havoc, Alice Crowley, and Hollywood Haley J. And Brooke was filling in for Mickey Knuckles here. I don't know what happened to her or Redacted or anybody, because they were advertised for the show.
Yeah.
They did. I read somewhere online, and this was just from a Twitter fan, that somehow they did some kind of suspended storyline for them. So I don't know overall. This match, honestly, I know you'll see on Cage Match and see that it's short. Like, it's 4 minutes. But they did a lot here. Like, they really tried to make this work. They all fought right away. And they ended up doing a deal early on where Priscilla and Brooke were kind of representing JCW, and Haley and Alice were representing JCW, excuse me. And Brooke and Priscilla were representing GCW. So, they were trying to do a thing where Priscilla and Brooke were kind of teaming together. Haley and Alice fought anyway, pretty much. So there was none of that. Priscilla hit a senton bomb, and then Brooke ended up grabbing her and hitting a sidewalk slam. Then Brooke and Priscilla finally came to blows, and Hollywood Haley J hit the super kick, and that led to Alice hitting a pull-in clothesline on Priscilla, actually, to get the win here. So another big win for Alice, beating a former WWE star. So we're seeing the indie talent get booked strong right away here, where you beat two of the bigger names right off the bat and put over your talent. One in JCW with Atticus, and one with Alice Crowley, who looked, honestly, it's a shame we got to see so little of her, because I thought she looked really good in her segments in both matches.
I agree. I was really impressed by Big Al. I actually, looked her up. She is damn good. Apparently she was on Dark. One of my friends who I was watching it with, Wendy, was like, "Oh, was she on Dark?" And I was like, "God, your brain for Dark."
The return of Wendy.
For people who were on Dark, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a really fun 4 minutes. I would have loved more time, but it felt like this night, even more than the night before, they were trying to keep this within a really tight 2-hour window almost.
I wonder why. The overall, I don't know. That maybe
if I'm not mistaken, the gathering happens in Ohio, which means that it was 3 hours later than it was for me. So these shows were starting at midnight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now that I think about it, that's a good reason. Again, for me, it's like, oh, this is perfectly normal. But yeah, to normal people, you're like, dude, fuck you. I don't want to stay up till 4 a.m. while I got this show. So yeah, I mean, this whole show, like I said, both of those first two matches I thought were too short. And I think they could have done more with another match. I'll get to in a second. I definitely thought the women got fucked over, though. To be honest, I really think they deserved a lot more time. This should have been at least 2 or 3 times as long as it was. So then they air a video where Caleb Conley is out here. Is he doing? What is his gimmick now here? Because he came out of the shower and talked to this guy, and he was talking about how he was like he drew the house or something like that. Is he supposed to be like a delusional rich guy or something like that?
I have no fucking clue.
Weird.
None whatsoever.
Let's try not to think about it too much, I would say. So then that was a lead in to set up Mr. Anderson as the special guest ring announcer. He got his WWE entrance where the microphone came from the ceiling, and then when he tried to do his entrance, it didn't work.
Yeah, which was great. If it worked right away, it would have been weird, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a fuck up at first.
I loved it. It was really funny. And he shouted out all the juggalos out there all across the world tonight. And that set up Caleb Conley taking on, again, the logical opponent for the JCW American title. A title which I just now found out of its existence when I watched the show. He is defending against the great Sasuke. I think that this was like a perfect Caleb Conley match to me. Like right at that 5 out of 10 level that he was always known for 12 years ago, 13 years ago in Evolve. And like he's doing it again now. I thought this was like average, but also like it's Sasuke, so that's actually kind of a compliment. I also loved how Sasuke came out with a GCW shirt on here. Sasuke did hit the Blockbuster at one point. Shout out to Buff Bagwell. Get well soon to Buff out there. I know he recently had his leg amputated out there. Somebody I would always bring up to Ken. Rest in peace. I'd annoy him thinking everyone who debuts is Buff secretly. So Sasuke did an insane move where he tried to do like a plancha onto the floor, but flipped over and just hit the floor at his age. I was like, oh yeah, this is great Sasuke. He's going to do something completely insane here. Then he hit a pile driver on the guy, Caleb's sidekick here. And that led to Caleb using the belt to get the win over here. So another indie guy getting put over by a legend, and JCW taking the lead. What do you think?
A lot of fun Sasuke spots. This Jeeves character was really silly, I thought as well. Very harmless, inoffensive match. I thought it did what it needed to do, and it gave the fans a satisfying win for Team JCW.
Sasuke embodies the spirit of the Juggalos more than Caleb Conley. That's my opinion. Anyway. So after that, we had Caleb skulk out, and we got to the next match. Another completely fucked up pairing here. We have, representing GCW, Nate Webb and PCO. Spider Nate. Still doing his thing to this day. Taking on The Outbreak. Abel Booker and Jackson Crowley. Who I don't know if he's related to Alice Crowley in any way. But the best way to describe the Outbreak are zombies. Pretty much. And I thought, personally, this may be a hot take. We'll see if you agree or disagree here. I actually thought they could have done more with the time they had. The Outbreak are totally standout characters. Like right away, if you're somebody who has no idea what you're looking at, like we were, the characters stand out. You had Spider Nate hitting his move, the 8-second ride at one point. Outbreak ended up just running into Nate Webb. I like that was their double team move. They literally just ran and hit this like weird version of a shoulder block on him. And then PCO came in and he fired up. It was going back and forth, had a ton of energy. He dropped both of the Outbreak, and then they both came in. They both hit the mist into PCO and ended up hitting the EVP trigger on them. Maybe the TWD trigger at this point. That knocked out PCO. Webb came in, more mist, and that led to the finish with the Outbreak pinning Spider Nate. Another short match. Again, I think they could have actually done more, especially PCO being so outrageous and the zombies being so outrageous. But what'd you think?
Dude, the Outbreak are crazy. They looked good. Like they looked better than a fucking WWE zombie. Like that fought the Miz or whatever, I thought. I was impressed with the gimmick. I was impressed with the way that they applied it in the ring. Dude, Spider Nate Webb it was so funny to watch him come out and no one sings the song. But just like, again, a total bizarro match in terms of what the fuck am I watching right now? You know, Dylan, I'll be honest, my whole issue with this match is that it had the worst fucking manager ever, Barnabas the Bizarre.
Oh yeah,
It looks like a bad human being, sounds like a bad human being. I'm just going to assume that outside of the ring, this is a very bad man.
He's a wrestler, so that is the right thing we should assume about all pro wrestlers.
But yeah, I thought the finish was cool with like the double face spit into the bridge pin. It looked like after the match, Barnabas made Nate Webb drink a potion. So I just wanted to say, we here at Wrestle Update, Nate Webb, we're sending you our thoughts and prayers and get well soon, brother.
We don't want to see you turn into a zombie, Spider Nate. He's another guy that was around 20 years ago. I was already a veteran. What did Wendy and the rest of your friends think of the Outbreak?
I think Wendy liked him. You know, Wendy's super into horror. We were both pretty stoked on them when they came out. Like the contact lenses they wore, just everything. I was really impressed. Like you mentioned it earlier, but the production quality was very sound overall. And that's in terms of the presentation of characters to just the scoreboard, everything.
Now that you mentioned it, because coincidentally, I know you didn't see this because it was on Twitter. I recently made a list. I dropped my top 5 horror films of all time. And I'm going to trust you to get some feedback on this and give your own as well. But especially if any of your friends are into horror, drop Dylan's list and let's see how they think about it. Okay, so check this out, Nello. My number 5 pick, okay?
Okay.
Tigers Are Not Afraid. It's a Mexican horror. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I mean, it's been on my list for forever. It's literally on my watch list. I know it's the little girl and the headdress. She's like got that fucking menacing grin on her face. It's painted. I've heard great things.
It's a fantastic movie. All of my movies, all 5, I think it's safe to say are horror movies with a heart, except for one, which is just a classic, and I have nostalgia for it. Number 4 is The Wailing, which is a Korean horror movie. Have you ever heard of this one?
Yes, it has one of my favorite exorcism sequences ever.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, this is one of the most like real. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there's ever seen him in person, but this was the most realistic Satan portrayal that I think I can remember in a movie. In The Wailing, it was very, very scary. And very well done. A great mystery aspect to it, too. So you agree with me that movie ruled, correct?
Absolutely.
Number 3, I went with the classic The Shining. I would have felt bad if I didn't have a Kubrick movie on any list of mine, since I got compared to him before. But I do think The Shining is an absolute masterpiece of a movie, and I watched it as a kid. Everything about it, the girls, the Here's Johnny, all that stuff is legendary. But watching it as a movie and to see this man's descent into insanity with his family there, I thought it was like a really, really well done movie on top of it being a horror masterpiece. Although I know Stephen King may disagree with this ranking. What say you?
I've seen The Shining a lot of times. I'm not as big on it as I used to be, and I think a lot of it has to do with I just fucking hate how everyone treated Shelley Duvall on that production. Like they were so mean to her, to where like Kubrick would isolate her and tell people to treat her badly. And I'm like, you know what, Shelley Duvall, you don't deserve this. You're the best part of the movie. Jack Nicholson's a creep. Let's just let's get you back to fairy tale theater, Shelley.
To be fair, there have been so many different versions of that story that have happened. Like some people say Jack was one of the only ones that was nice, or he was the one that exposed that Kubrick was trying to manipulate people into being a dick to her. Mm-hmm. Because that was his deal, right? Like Kubrick wanted real emotion. There's the famous one where she walked backwards with a bat. They filmed that scene 127 fucking times, which is completely insane. Overall. That's how nuts Kubrick was as a director. He wanted everything to be so perfect. And it made crazy shit like that happen. So yeah, that was fucked up, to be fair. But as a movie, she portrayed that character so amazingly. One way or the other. Number 2 for me, Let the Right One In. I felt like I went a little controversial with that one. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
The 2008 version,
movie.
Not the remake, the original one from Sweden.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic movie. And again, a movie with a heart. Like a different take on the vampire type of movie. I also love the context of it coming out at the same time as Twilight. Because this was the totally twisted and fucked up and way, way better version of that story. I would say. Apologies to any Twilight fans out there, including my sister, if she's listening. But I love that movie a lot. I think it's a great story and a really cool. They really grasped the element of being a 12 and 13-year-old for real, because I think that's a really hard to do, for a lot of movies. And I thought that they really grasped it a lot better. In addition to obviously the horror elements. Number 1, I've said this every year on Halloween. If you follow me on Twitter, you know my answer. Because I always bring it up and watch it around that time. Audition from Takashi Miike.
Nice.
Yeah, that is a legendary movie to me. There are so many quotes that resonate with me through it. And the great thing about that, and you can kind of tell through all of these movies that I just listed, none of these are really because there are some movies, horror movies, that are super gore fest and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that those kind of movies don't have their place, but these are kind of psychological horror movies. And that one is definitely a psychological one. There's maybe a handful of scenes that are explicitly violent. And when they get violent, they get very violent. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it is about the story of the movie and the character of this woman that is just was so damaged and so insane that it was only gonna end in a horrible way for this guy, pretty much. And they, like I said, there's so many quotes in it that resonate with me. So what do you think about my list, Nello? I'll get your opinions and we'll jump back to the JCW.
I love it. That's a solid list. Can I share mine real quick?
Absolutely. I want you to.
All right. I'm just gonna blow through it. Number 5, Saw. It's my favorite horror franchise.
Yeah,
it's
great.
The Thing, John Carpenter.
That's a great movie too. Yeah.
Number 3, Martyrs by Pascal Laugier. Really brutal French film.
Yeah, that's 2, one of those gory movies. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, it's just a profound movie. Yeah. Possession is number 2. And then number 1 is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's my favorite.
See, some of the responses I got mentioned that as well. Like everybody was kind of going to Texas Chainsaw Massacre on that, which is a fantastic movie. Don't get me wrong. Somebody brought up Hereditary as one to another recent-ish movie, which, I mean, that was a crazy-ass movie. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, your list is dope, man. Like, really good. Really good. Like, we just gave y'all 10 different horror movie takes that are all great that y'all should check out, I would say, on that end. So, back to reality here. We're back to the Juggalo world. We saw Willie Mack here, and he was challenging for the GCW title versus Effie. Things start off right away with Effie going after him with the pink jacket. Mac fired up right away the big spine buster. He did the spot where he attacked Willie and then like pulled down his trunks and showed his ass. So they came out there. Then we saw Super Hammond here. Who is this, man? That's what I was thinking at the time. Like, who the f***? And that led to a flash win for Effie.
Okay, I mean, it's Fat Fuck Barrel Boy came out.
Yeah.
What's so confusing about that?
Well, that's what I mean. It literally said so. Like he had a sign that said exactly that. Like he's not making this up, people.
This is so fucking funny to me.
That's the thing. Like if you don't give a fuck and just watch it for what it is, it was like, amusing.
We've gone from Towel Boy in 2002, and in the past 23 years, the Towel Boy has evolved into the Fat Fuck Barrel Boy. Okay. It's
what
science.
A world. Is that true?
What do the Juggalos say? How do magnets work?
That's accurate. I think they need to be teaching this in science class. Like the evolution. Science. Yeah, the evolution they told us was wrong, Nello. It was Towel Boy to Fat Fuck Barrel Boy is the evolution of mankind that we need to be talking about right now. But yeah, I mean, it was like you said, it's hard to be offended by this. It was less than 5 minutes. You know, it was just dumb fun at the end of the day. So then we get to the Battle Royal. In my opinion, have you ever seen the Stranglemania? Like I know we never did a show on it, but did you ever watch it on your own?
No.
So a common trope in Stranglemania is throughout the show, they always cut to the $5 Battle Royal in it. And that was kind of what I thought of when I watched this. Like, this is the updated version of the $5 Battle Royal. And I wish that they had announced it as that instead of what we got. So they started off with everybody kind of taking sides here. You had Alec Price, Jordan Oliver, Bam Sullivan, Jeff John, Drew Parker, George South, JP Grayson, Congo Cog, Otis, Kogar, Sonny Kiss, Caleb Conley, Christian Napier, Luigi Primo, Shane Mercer, Cocaine, Mosh Pit Mike, Mr. Happy, Super Hammond, Tarzan, Duran, and The Wrath. Not Wrath from WCW, not Adam Bomb. But everybody came and stood on sides like 10 mod 10 to start off. But they threw Tarzan out right away after what a weekend for him. Got his tongue stabbed and then eliminated first in the Battle Royal. Can you bury a guy any more than this? Justice for Tarzan. So George South got thrown out right away next. So there goes somebody else. Luigi came in with pizza, like here, pizza dough. He came in, was throwing it at stuff. He got eliminated. Mr. Happy, whoever this guy was, he tried to do a moonsault, and then the GCW guys all threw him out. I mean, this guy had to be like 400 pounds. This Mr. Happy. Cocaine pulled out the coke here. And that was like his Hogan spot here. Like he fired up with the white powder, let's just say, allegedly. We don't know what this substance was. But he got that Hulk up moment, threw out Drew Parker here, so Cocaine got protected before he got eliminated. They all ganged up and tried to eliminate Congo. I haven't seen that motherfucker for years. Like, I don't even know what happened to him. But anyway, he was here. He was firing up against Alec Price and Otis. He tossed Otis, and it came down to Sonny Kiss running to the ring. And in the end, Sonny took off the JCW shirt and showed the GCW shirt and teamed up with Janela. They were going crazy, eliminating the Wraith. Jeff John tried to fight Congo Kong, then chopped Mercer. They both no-sold, and the crowd started chanting, "You fucked up." They threw his ass out. And they ended up going at it. Kong accidentally dropped Mercer out. And Janela ended up moving. And that eliminated Kong. But then Super Hammond came in. And they were talking about how he was like the star power on the show. And in the end, he ended up trying to fire up against Joey. But Janela got up and tossed Super Hammond out. What?
What do you mean, what? You're not going to pop for Superhuman? That was fucking sick.
Super Hammond. That's what I call
Superhuman. Yes. This one goes out to all my juggalos and juggalettes. Whoop, fuck this shit, dude. That's a legend. That is a internet legend, pro wrestling legend, indie darling, Super Hammond. You know, the man that's so super that his human has 2 M's.
We need to see him. We need to see him brought back, I think. He needs to be a GCW regular going forward. So yeah, any thoughts on the battle royal? Was it worth $5?
It was worth $5. I thought that Sonny Kiss appearance was cool. You know, it was cool to see Joey and Sonny do some work together again. I thought Congo Kong eliminated himself was funny as fuck.
It was that was good. I have to admit that was pretty
ridiculous.
Awesome.
And like, dude, when Superhuman came out, it was like 11 p.m. for me. I'm stoned out of my mind. I'm like, what else do I really want to happen at that point? Superhuman, sure, let's go. This is like when -1 came out during the clusterfuck WrestleMania weekend, right? It's just nuts. You don't expect it, and I was there for it.
I clicked on his profile. The rate,
doesn't hold a torch to what we're about to talk about. But please go ahead. What were you saying?
The Wraith was Jake Christ of all people. I didn't fucking recognize him at all.
I wonder if Mr. Happy and
who was Mr. Happy?
Yeah, I wonder if it's Stackhouse.
It is.
It is Sam Stackhouse.
I just clicked on his profile. It is.
Okay, that's because he moved like him. Like the in-ring work was comparable, so that's what made me think it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes total sense, actually. To be fair. Yeah, I mean, it was this was interesting. this match here, I do have to say, somewhere, Fuego is not happy about this. This re gimmick here. So yeah, like you said, we have one more thing to talk about, and boy, is it a happening. Too Tough Tony, once again, here. Mr. JCW himself, fighting for the JCW heavyweight title, taking on Matt Tremont in a barbed wire death match. And now I will bring to you, Mr. De Angelis, there is some controversy surrounding this match. This was supposed to be an exploding barbed wire death match. And you tell me one explosion that happened in this match.
That's what it said on the cage match. I swear to God,
Yeah.
when I was going up to it.
No, it's not you. It's all the fans. That's what I saw all day on Twitter, or not all day, but all night when I was going through Twitter after I watched the show. Everybody was pissed that it wasn't an exploding death match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
Hello, I'm blaming them.
The only cage match comment, 4 stars. Well, definitely not an exploding barbed wire death
See,
match.
he knows. Listen, thank you, inmate, for for justifying what I said. But I saw a lot of people say this though on Twitter. It wasn't just our friend Osram, of course. Until otherwise, I'm going to say you're an Australian, nephew of the Rev. Rest in peace from Avenged Sevenfold. So what the fuck? Like, explain this match to me, Nello.
This was. I did not expect this to be a good match by any means. And I expected it to just be a lot of fuckery. It definitely was.
Your expectations were very well met, my friend.
And like, I think what's like, okay, this is the gathering of the Juggalos, right? So this is a giant fucking festival. There are multiple music stages. There are headlining acts. There are all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But like, where does the reunion of ICP happen? It happens at 2 a.m. on the JCW show. Like, this was the place to be, and you can tell how much it meant to them for them to do this here and not on the main stage or somewhere where there's thousands of fucking people.
So, what were they beefing over?
I don't know anything about this. When you texted me they're reunited, I was like, oh God, I hope Dylan knows.
Yeah, like I said, so I did some research on this because that was my main question. And first of all, yes, they're like Shaggy 2 Dope coming out to say Violent J was awesome. Like it did feel like a truly heartfelt moment in this completely absurd world. But I really wanted to know, how did these guys, because when you think about ICP, like, these guys are like peanut butter and jelly. Like, I couldn't really imagine them apart, overall. So according to my research, basically in recent years, Violent J's had some health problems and stuff like that. And when he kind of got cleared, so to speak, by the doctors, he was kind of continuing the old school, like, ICP party type of lifestyle, like doing crazy shit, hanging out with girls. Like, he had some kind of breakup I read about with his wife, and he was living that crazy ass life. Whereas Shaggy 2 Dope, he worked hard to go to rehab and clean himself up, and he's like a family guy now. And that kind of led to some tensions, allegedly, again here. We don't know this for sure. They specifically have never outright said anything bad, other than Shaggy said he wouldn't work with Violent J until he got cleaned up publicly, pretty much. Okay. Again, so they've been doing solo albums for the last few years, and this was the big reunion of the OGs, Insane Clown Posse here. And they ended up coming out. Like I said, it looked like Violent J was in trouble. Brett was about to get the win over JCW, and that is when Shaggy 2 Dope came out to save the day. And he came back in. Have you ever seen
Vampiro is there too.
I was literally about to bring this up to you.
Okay.
Did you see any of their work in WCW together as the Dark Carnival?
Yes.
Not that you should have. But okay,
I've seen
you did.
them versus Mike Awesome.
Okay, that's more than enough, I would say. But yes, you had the reunion of the Dark Carnival in addition to the ICP OG reunion. So that was just a complete trip. I was looking at it here, and I just thought, like you said, you knew this match was going to be something crazy, But I thought it was perfect to end it on this note, knowing that this reunion was going to happen. Pretty much.
I mean,
And
this
I
is
think,
huge. Like, and I'm not even
yeah,
kidding when I say this, but like in the Juggalo community, is this not fucking like the biggest news?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this was the biggest thing ever. Like, there was whoop whoops going all over the place. Uh, but yeah, the Gathering of the Juggalos. If you guys don't know, it's not just these shows. It's like a whole festival. You know, uh, like they have stages and music. Rappers come through and people like that. Uh, they had all kinds of people. Were you aware of any of the people on the musical? No.
Absolutely none.
Okay. I will give you credit for that. Are you telling me? Are you telling me that you never heard of Wild Bill?
I have not heard of Wild Bill. I know Fat Fuck Barrel Boy, but not Wild Bill.
Listen, my friend. R.A. the Rugged Man was on August 13th show, and he's like literally one of my favorite rappers ever. To be honest, so
Yeah.
he's a fantastic performer. Check out his songs. Uh, Learn Truth, The People's Champ, Legendary Loser. He's the man. Like Ari the Rugged Man's one of the best lyricists that there's ever been, I would say. You had Waka Flocka on August 14th. I know you heard of him.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep, that's right. He was there. So we had that. We had Guar and Tech Nine on August 15th there. So we got some people you heard of there. And on tonight, probably happening in a few hours from where we're at, we have Immortal Technique, one of my favorite rappers ever, much like R.A. the Rugged. I fucking love him. He has tons of classics. Bone Thugs and Harmony, an OG, and 3-6 Mafia, M-Town, North Memphis, representing in the ICP. I know DJ Paul signed with like Psychopathic Records, which is like ICP's label and stuff. So yeah, August 16th, they're doing some big things, and ICP performing as well. So they're back in the swing of things, and playing with 3-6, a legendary group, and representing my hometown. This is a pretty good lineup. Honestly, all things considered,
Yeah.
like it's kind of better than I thought it would be. But yeah, disappointing that there were no explosions, but you got the emotional reunion out of it. It worked exactly what they would have wanted. And you were not going to get any kind of good match out of this. Like, nobody should have dared even pray.
I don't
for
even
that.
think the match mattered. It was all about
No,
that
it wasn't.
final
It wasn't.
image of the entirety of the locker room in
Yeah.
the ring, basically the complete inverse of the previous night. Everyone's fucking hyped. You've got Too Tough Tony, your workhorse world champion. Everyone's there. It was
And he
it
wins
was such a simple but well told story.
He wins by like holding like 10 light tubes and jumping off the top rope into a splash as
Dude,
well.
yeah.
For the win. And the ICP are there. Like, the crowd's loving it. You see all these face painted guys in the crowd going crazy as well. Shot it. And it felt like a feel good ending in this weird ICP universe way. Like, I thought it was cool, to be honest. I thought it was a lot of fun at the end of the day. It was a lot of weird shit. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. But if you come into it again with expectations adjusted properly, I think there's a lot of fun to be had. And like I said, I'm not really a big ICP fan musically. Like, those guys I named are some of the greatest lyricists ever. And I don't consider them on that level. But I think I told the story before when they asked me to wrestle before in JCW. I respect them because I know they love wrestling for real. Like, so that automatically makes me like them. And again, it's not like I dislike their music. I just am not that familiar with it. So to see them reunite, knowing all of this backstage drama, behind the scenes stuff going on, a lot of stuff we didn't know about. These are just rumors and shit like that. But like they were on solo tours for the last few years, and all that said, so maybe Violent J cleaned up a little bit. Shaggy's back. Big pop, big reunion, heartfelt moment, and the locker room poured out. JCW rules the roost, and it was well done interpromotional warfare here, with GCW scoring on night 1, and then the babyface company scoring the win on night 2. And it felt like a moment, even if the fans maybe weren't wrestling fans per se, they were Juggalo fans, and this felt like a moment for them.
Yes. No, very well said.
What kind of score would you give these shows here? Which night did you like better?
Man. It's so hard to say because like the way I viewed them was just like one long show in a way.
They kind of were. It was like an interconnected story between the two almost.
Like night 1 was maybe more exciting because I had no idea what to go in for. So it was just like, oh my God, they're throwing liters of soda. Night 2, I kind of knew what to expect, but I thought that they did such a great job capping it off. Like I would give no match on this show, on both these shows, higher than a 6, but I'd give both shows together like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really fun.
It was a memorable show. Both of them. I think that both comments on the show actually mentioned that the crowd was worse on night 2. Man, am I crazy? Am I the crazy this right now, people? I don't know. I still feel the same way, to be honest, after talking about it. I thought night 2 was better as a show, and the one I enjoyed watching more. It was shorter, the pacing was better, and it had the great ending at the end. And it had Atticus versus Nemeth, which was probably the best match, quote unquote, of either show.
Yeah. Great point.
But night 1 was more like memorable in a crazy way to me. You had that mosh pit mic match, which was like super fucked up and violent. You had Flo Kane on there. You had the Brothers of Funstruction with all the clown shit, which I personally had a lot of fun with. Had a lot of like random crazy stuff on night 1, but I thought night 2 was probably a little better as a show. But ultimately, the crowd is what makes these shows. Like it's like you said, none of these matches should be above 6, if you're being fair. I think that it's interesting. Like, I want to know some of the backstage stuff about these shows. Why was there not the exploding death match on the main event? Was it maybe just because they wanted to focus on the ICP stuff and they didn't want to do a big explosion spot?
I have no clue, but it's such a weird thing to promise and then not deliver on.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that was weird. What happened to Redacted and Mickey Knuckle? Like, that was never answered. So there was clearly something's going on backstage on these shows where it felt like some stuff had to be kind of configured at the last second. And I thought they probably made the best out of it. Overall, the weekend, I'd probably be a little bit lower than you just because I am looking for, like, I want to watch good wrestling no matter what. And a show like this can really only go so high for me, like, in all honesty, which is it's kind of like a spectacle type of show. But I thought it was about as fun as one of these could be. And I didn't walk away from it thinking, man, like, why did Nello make me watch this? I was thinking, okay, this is really cool. Like, that's pretty much how I felt coming out of it. I thought the fans made the show both nights. Regardless of if you thought night 1 was a little bit more crazy, I do think the fans delivered big, and it's a special atmosphere. You won't get this kind of show on an AEW or WWE. And so I thought it was special on its own. I thought the venue was great. The production value was really well done, as you would expect from ICP. And it was a free show on YouTube, so check it out. I would say just for a really goofy, crazy-ass time, I'd probably give the overall weekend about a 6 out of 10. Probably a 6 for the second night and a 5 for the first night, but I like them both for different reasons overall.
Thank you for
So, yeah.
watching it with me.
No. Thank you for recommending it and giving us something really unique and cool. I don't think there's going to be too many other podcasts covering these shows, brother, to be honest. So somebody's got to do it. It's your boys, the Woo Crew, handling
Woo
it
Crew?
and holding it down. Whoop, whoop. What do you want to say to the people before we get out of here, my friend?
Dude, just fucking whoop whoop. I hope anyone that went to
Whoop,
the show
whoop.
had a wonderful time. Next weekend, we got GCW Homecoming, 2 nights, and Forbidden
right.
Door. So we are stacked up.
Crazy. Yeah, next week is going to be wild as hell. I can't wait to go through it with you, Nello. I can't wait for you guys to join us, listen to it. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of our horror movie list as well. Did we make some good calls on that? That's what I need to know. But cannot wait to talk to you next week, Nello. Can't wait to talk to you all next week as well. As always, I appreciate you listening, and you know I love you. Until next time, this has been your Wrestle Update.